I can smell something in the air.
What is it?
I didn't do it, but I should have.
You couldn't smell it, Jake?
I can tell us a sense of anticipation. We are 1 week away. This time, in 10 days' time.
This time, if it was Thursday or Friday, or is it Thursday or Friday?
We will be Thursday. First game is on Thursday. Maybe.
I'll have a quick look.
I'm pretty sure.
I'll just check quick.
Well, anyways, NRL season is upon us. We are through the preseason. We are into...
It's Thursday.
Yeah, I knew that the whole time.
Eagles Bulldogs. With an 8:05 kickoff. What a great time to kick off on a Thursday night.
Yeah, great. I won't be in bed already.
Fantastic.
Look, we're down to it. Preseason games are over. Some teams have fared well, some have fared less well. We've got a few little predictions that we want to run through today, mainly focusing on the bottom 8, the bottom half of the table.
Yes.
Captain's challenge
It's in.
It's in, which is really surprising because we were very doubtful that the NRL would actually do something even mediocrely progressive. Yeah, like it's very surprising.
Yeah.
And I think that'll pretty much do it for NRL this week. Things are heating up. We're gonna have.
I'm sure we'll bloody find something else to talk about.
Yeah, we'll carry on about something. maybe about how AJ Brinton needs to learn some new dance moves. I don't know. Maybe he's the widest dude ever. All right, let's get into it.
You forgot to tell them about our social media platforms and to share with their friends. The podcast, the socials, Instagram, tag your mates, Facebook, get on the Facebook. We got 200 likes on there, but nobody takes any interest.
Yeah, what's up with that?
We post some good stuff. Get around it.
Yeah.
But most of all, share the podcast with your friends. Review it, rate it, 5 stars. Don't give me any of that 4-star shit. 5 stars.
Glad Brad's here doing my job because
You forgot about it.
I got excited.
And big ol' reviews. Big ol' reviews.
Well, just let us know your thoughts. No, just give us some. Get amongst it.
Lots of love.
Let's hit it.
Welcome to the Jab Podcast.
Pull up, pull up. I pull up, I pull up, pull up, yeah. Pull out to your crib, I got the combo and I'm swerving. Yeah. Say I'm not your man, but I'll be right there at your service.
All right, so the trials are done and dusted for the NRL. I don't know how much you guys watched.
I watched a little bit.
Yeah, I watched a bit.
Bits and pieces.
Couple of games on the weekend.
Get them highlights.
Yeah, and I love how they bring them all regionally. Like, for me, Paul Macquarie's reasonably small town and Raiders and Bulldogs played there. Like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Fun fact for you. The reason I started supporting the Broncos, one of the main reasons, the first ever game I went to, NRL game, was in Port Macquarie, at Port Macquarie Stadium, and it was a trial match between the Raiders and the Broncos. In the game, at halftime, I'd gone with one of my mates who was a diehard Broncos fan, and I said, whoever wins this game, I'm going to support, because that must be a good team, because they've won this trial match for me. At halftime, Broncos were losing 16-0. By the end of the game, they ended up winning 28-16 or something like that. And me and my mate were outside, walking to the car after a trial match, chanting, Pedro for PM! And that was my first ever.
That is a fun fact.
Yeah,
To think, you could have been a Raiders fan.
this close.
This close to being what is now your hometown.
Yeah, wild, hey. They're crazy.
Disappointing.
That's my fun fact.
That is
That's
a fun
my
fact.
little anecdote.
That is fun.
So, trials done.
The big trial was probably the Charity Shield, because they take
Yeah.
they take it quite seriously, the Charity Shield. Some impressive things by the Dragons.
Yes, yeah.
They held the Rabbitohs on their line for probably 8 sets in a row.
You know what would be...
When there was 2 full strength teams in the first half, once it went outside of full strength, Rabbitohs ran all over.
Yeah.
You know, it just kind of reaffirmed what is going to be the Dragons' problem.
Depth.
For as many years as they choose to leave it as it is, halves. Corey Norman and Ben Hunt will not win you a premiership.
Tell you what.
Full stop.
I was super upset when Ben Hunt signed with the Dragons. I was like, no, Broncos.
Are you happy as?
No. Oh, so happy.
Happy as Larry.
So happy. No refunds. No returns.
Corey Norman, I don't get the hype. And I never have.
I'm really surprised that they've kept him around. Like,
Well, they're paying him like $800,000 a year or
Yeah,
something,
like,
so
they
they don't
haven't-
really have a choice. Who's going to take
they
him on?
re-signed him at the end of his. He was on a 1-1, and they re-signed him for an extra 2.
This is kind of going into our Westbrook dilemma thing. He's one of those players that, because he's got talent and he does like he does flashy plays and wins games every now and then.
Yeah, has a few
He keeps
good
getting
highlights.
massive contracts. And it's like, you got to look past the short term. Yeah, he's going to win you a few games and you're going to be competitive. But if you actually genuinely want to win, you can't be paying Corey Norman.
He's
big bucks.
clearly got a lot of talent, but players it's just players his style as a leader do not win you a comp. They can be a second man, like i.e. Michael Morgan, who plays a very similar style to Corey Norman, with Thurston. Those two together can win you a comp. But Ben Hunt isn't the guy to be the number one.
No.
Pops in when you need him. Like, good as an ancillary player. Pops in when you need him. Happy to take a back seat.
Yeah.
That's what they're there for. What do you think? Moving on to the Knights and Roosters, which is probably I guess, surprising, but not so surprising because Roosters...
When you look at the team lineups.
Like, I'm pretty sure the Roosters would have chosen anyone off the street. Like, do you think the Roosters... I understand that they've had a lot going on, like the club challenge and things like that. But this whole preseason, same with the Knights, they've almost taken it as a joke.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very big question with how they start out the year. If they start out the year, everyone's going to be like, oh, okay, preseason... Maybe one preseason game is enough to prepare, like in terms of match fitness and match readiness. Maybe one preseason game is enough. Maybe 0.
Well,
maybe these professional athletes can just get up and go.
Which is what I asked a couple of guys today. Do you reckon the NRL needs preseason games anymore? Like, fitness is so... Like, obviously you need to do that wrestling and get some of that body contact, but
they do that all at
I
training.
don't yeah, exactly. I don't necessarily believe that 3... Well, some teams played 4 preseason games, I think.
Yeah, like it's... Raiders only play 1. So Raiders just played the Bulldogs and that was it.
Was that it?
Yeah, that's
Then
their
they
only preseason game.
But then they had 9s as well, I guess.
Yeah, but that was guys who
Yeah,
aren't going to play round 1, basically, all of them. But yeah, the Roosters, you look at their schedule, they really only had 4 weeks break. Because they've had a lot of rep players.
Yep.
Majority of their guys, a lot of rep players, so they're going into rep season. Guys who've had surgery or whatever obviously have a longer break. But then they've gone in the World Club Challenge, they've got the 9s as well. And then the trials. But they've obviously had...
That's true. They
played
probably
further into the year.
later and later. Yeah, they really...
And they've done it, 3 years in a row now?
2.
They won the comp 2 years in a row, but they were also there.
They weren't like there for the club
No.
challenge and stuff.
But so they've played like deep into seasons consecutively. So it's
Could Raiders and Roosters possibly unlock a situation where going forward we don't have a preseason?
well, the Patriots do it in the NFL.
Do what?
They don't play any starters in preseason.
Yeah, the preseason games are for their potential up and comers, but not for their actual.
Yeah, because they know that they're always playing deep into the season, so they give those guys the rest to get their bodies right and then come in firing round 1.
So do you think that this going forward will... If Raiders and Roosters do well, they're about to shape the future.
I think so, yeah.
I agree.
Do you reckon there's an NRL?
I don't think there's a need for it anymore, especially NRL and even more so in the AFL. I think there's almost no need for it in the AFL. In the NRL, a bit more, just because you get that match fitness of getting up and down, getting tackled. But they do so much of it already.
You can do,
and you've got a 26-week season. It's not like you don't have the time to build into that fitness.
And you can do like either with your feeder club. Well, we saw Titans and Broncos play against their feeder club in trials. You could just do training sessions.
Yeah, into
that mimic games. Like it might not be an 80-minute game.
Like we've all done at training. Where
exactly.
It can be situational.
Or they could like, as the Raiders went to the Sunshine Coast, they could link up with the Broncos or the Titans and do like club on club training
type thing. Yeah.
Something we do see in the NFL a lot.
Yeah, something like that rather than playing trial matches. The only good thing about the trial match is the taking it to the country.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, one good thing to come out of the trials, the Captain's Challenge has been given the green light for round 1. How thankful are you?
Look, I think it's a great step forward. Do I think it's going to be the revolutionary change that some people are talking about? No. I think it's a good addition. I think it'll be really good, but we have to see how much further they continue to keep the game modern.
I
don't like it?
No, I believe that it will be the revolution that everyone's making it out to be. As long as you get rid of the ref's ability to go to
video ref.
Yeah, but they haven't done that.
Yeah, I know.
At the moment, it's...
To me, you have to scrap the ref's ability to go to the video ref, and it's all the onus is on the captains.
Yeah.
Or if you did, maybe the refs have 2 or 3 as well. Like the Captain's Challenge, they're limited in numbers for how many they have. Do the refs have the same thing? So instead of sending those ones that they're like, I'm 75% sure that was a try, but I'm going to send upstairs anyway.
Oh, yeah. So like the ref group gets 4 referrals, each team gets 1.
Yeah. So the ref goes, all right, I'm 75% sure that was a try. That's a try. If the captain wants to challenge it, he can.
Yep. I think that's a good idea.
But then there's those ones like that try in the 9s where neither ref, like the ref wasn't there, the touch he couldn't see, but the cameras obviously picked it up quite well, where the ref can go, all right, video ref, that one.
Yeah, I remain in the position that the more confidence that we put in the refs to just back themselves and make a call, the better the actual product that goes onto the TV will be. Because they'll just make a call and go.
Yeah, I agree.
And then obviously the captain can come in and be like, no,
I agree.
Let's check that one.
Yeah. I do agree with you there.
I definitely feel though at the moment that, and this is what I kind of mean, it's a good addition, but they're not going wholeheartedly into it.
Classic NRL move.
Classic NRL. It's going to fail. No, it's not going to fail. It'll be there. I think it'll stay around. But it will never be this beacon of ingenuity that it could be.
Yeah, to me, the way they have it placed in right now, it is just going to create another thing to slow down the game.
Yeah, because how does it work? Can they challenge a video ref call?
Well, I doubt they can challenge a video ref call. But you can't, because it then goes up to the video ref, so you're not going to change a video ref's mind. But you can't change a play. You can't challenge a play that has been played on. So, knock on.
Right, yeah. So once that play's finished,
knock-on's happened, but they've been able to play on, you can't challenge it. But if you believe a knock-on's happened, something else has happened and the play was broken down, then you can challenge the knock-on. As we saw with the Latrell thing in the World Club Challenge, they were able to challenge that, and that was obviously the first successful one.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
They're actually doing something. They're trying to put in something that is listening to the fans. This shows that they're listening to the fans because this came out of the the 2019 end of season survey that was dished out to fans. I don't know if either of you filled it out. But I did, and
I
that
don't
was
believe
one.
I did.
That was
Did you
one
put
thing
that in?
I put in my priority list as something I wanted to see introduced.
That's awesome. Like, and hopefully they continue down this path. Like, the NRL needs to approach the code with a bit of a modern, fresh take before they die out like rugby union has.
They just need to speed it
sure.
up. It just, everything has to be faster. And that is one way of doing it.
Yep. All right. Do we want to?
Let's get into it.
Do we want to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Do we have any sick music?
Not long.
Do you just want me to beatbox for it?
No, please don't.
Don't even start.
Don't.
We're going into our bottom 8 predictions.
Bottom 8 after the preseason.
All right. Gold Coast was mine. A new era begins. It's only up from here. Let's be honest.
Well, they can't really get much worse, can they?
Or relegation if they bring in the Brisbane Bombers or the Redcliffe Dolphins like they're talking about and can the Titans.
But I do believe a new era is about to begin.
Under AJ Brimson and his dancing.
Under Holbrook.
Under Holbrook.
What has led you to this headline?
So, sorry, just a little background. We've each chosen, we've each got a couple of teams. We've come up with a headline. Yeah, we have to justify it.
The Titans in the trials and in the nines look more switched on and focused. Take away that trial against the feeder club because there wasn't the stars. There was a couple like Jared Wallace in there, but there wasn't the star power that you are going to need. I think Holbrook has Tyrone Peachy committed. I think you're going to see a new Ash Taylor. And I think you're going to see the AJ Brimson that we saw glimpses of in his rookie year.
Are you thinking top 8?
No, not yet.
No.
What position?
I think they will be that
15th.
Improvement.
that like
new era has begun.
9 to 12 range.
No, I tend to agree.
Close 9 to 12.
Fighting for the 8,
Wow.
but just not there.
Peachy looked fitter. Ash Taylor looked fitter.
It's interesting. Ash Taylor actually looked like he had a purpose. I don't know if he's just sorted out these. Obviously, he had huge mental health issues, but he definitely looked like he was ready to play football.
Big time. I think that's a great way to put it. A purpose is so big for a rugby league player. Once they find that once you can see that they feel they're valuable to their team, all of a sudden their play steps up. And I think that's what Holbrook's going to provide. Yeah.
Well, it would be something Ash Taylor watching the Titans' demise after he left at the end of last year. And then Holbrook has obviously instilled this into him as well.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Dragons' demise deepens.
16th.
Very pessimistic.
16th, and by a long shot.
Oh, wow.
Where's that hot take button?
How many games?
Will they win?
Wow.
Okay.
That's fitting. That's fitting.
How many games will they win? How many did they win last year,
Not many.
if any?
You've gone and done it.
What did I do?
Why are you so pessimistic about
Sorry, yeah. So I'll get into it. As we were just saying, Ben Hunt and Corey Norman are not your halves to lead a team to success. Jack DeBellin is another cog in the wheel that is just derailing this. This is a penny on the train.
8 wins last year?
6 wins.
Just a big old speed bump into Bellin.
Yeah, he's just another thing. I very much would be surprised if not surprised. I would not be surprised if Tyson Frizzell's no longer at the Dragons in this year. That forward pack had so much potential, but it's crumbling apart. Like, we're just not seeing that dominance. The injuries that they suffered in the nines competition and in their trials, this team, this is Paul McGregor's last year.
I'm going to have to disagree with you on this one.
You're more than welcome to.
Shane Flanagan, he is the defensive coach though.
Yep.
And that was their biggest issue last year was defence.
Yep.
And we saw the Sharks under Flanagan, they were a wall.
They were.
I agree. I'm going with the agreement. I think the ghost of DeBellin is hanging over the Dragons so bad, and I don't think Shane Flanagan's going to be a good addition. He's going to be way too dominant for Paul McGregor.
Yeah.
Paul McGregor is a terrible coach, Shane Flanagan is
agree.
a great coach. You can't have the great coach backing up the terrible coach.
And
it's going to create a power structure that is so toxic.
Is Flanagan's not allowed to coach this year, is he?
No. So this is an interim year where there'll just be so much infighting and it's going to result in 6 wins.
A takeover.
What if
Onto the Cowboys.
What if Dragons ownership just give McGregor like 200 grand and just say just come to training and shut up. Just come to training.
Shut your mouth.
Shut up.
Shut your mouth.
Sit in the box and shut up.
But pretend to be the coach.
Flanagan's
Wear a
the
head
coach.
coach hat. All right, onto the Cowboys.
Holmes leads Cowboys back to the finals.
Big prediction.
This is huge. Look, not huge. I have question marks about who you've got their Holmes.
I'm not saying that he's going to be the driving force,
It literally says Holmes leads.
but that's I know, but that's the headline.
Okay.
Is because they've got the addition of Holmes.
He's going to
And
be
they're going to go from 14th into the top 8.
Yep.
The headlines are going to be about Holmes.
Yeah, that's true. And if there's anything that's going to galvanise a team, it's going to be a star fullback.
And his kick returns are going to get this forward pack going forward straight away, which is something they missed dearly last year.
You know, I'm going to agree with you here. I like this. What do you, Jake?
My argument is your argument. Why was Morgan effective a few years ago? Thurston. He still doesn't have Thurston.
No, he doesn't.
Morgan's your leader. I just don't see it being...
You think it's too much for him to carry?
Yes,
I
but
think they still have that missing piece.
I do agree that they have a missing piece, but Broncos made the top 8 last year.
This is true.
They had 5 missing pieces. So I'm not saying they're going to be in contention.
So where do you see him finishing?
7th or 8th.
All right.
Okay.
I like
that's
that. I'm
fair.
okay
I'm not
with
saying they're in contention for a premiership. They're just not going to come 14th. They're going to come 7th or 8th with, like winning 55% of games.
They're a round one. They're a round one blowout.
55.
Is that what you're saying?
They're
Not that
58.
bad.
They're 58 to
They're
0.
certainly not that bad.
They're the Broncos of last year. 56.
They could win a finals game
58.
with if that forward pack is firing, and Granville just has to be like 75% of what he was at the Broncos.
Or that 2015.
First,
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. Hit me up. RTS, SOS.
Yes.
Warriors are my pick for dead last.
yeah, I agree.
They have RTS and what else? Ken Mamalu?
Dead last.
Dead last. I don't even think it's going to be... I don't think the Dragons will be close to going under them.
I'd like to challenge you to a wooden spoon off.
What's riding on it?
Merch bet.
Merch bet.
Merch bet.
Merch bet.
I could hang some Warriors gear. I'm cool with that.
I don't want some George gear.
Merch
Gear
bet's
of
on.
your choice.
Gear of your choice, yeah.
Okay,
Merch
deal.
bet, we're on. Hit us with a cha-ching.
Yeah,
We'll put it on our socials and that means it's official.
I don't see the Warriors being competitive.
No, I don't. But
They still don't have They still don't have a spine outside of RTS.
So what's the SOS?
If it's RTS or nothing.
Yeah, RTS, save us. Please.
Or
He's gonna have to pull
is
it.
he sending an SOS to other teams to get him the fuck out of there?
RTS is going to have to pull a Cleveland
do you reckon
Cavaliers
he
LeBron
regrets?
James.
Do you reckon he regrets going there?
Not at all.
Nah, not at all.
All right. So 16th, do you agree, Brad?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I agree, except 15th. Bulldogs get bullied by most.
Again.
Bulldogs are going to have the same reminiscence of last year and the year before that. It's almost like this is what the Bulldogs culture is now. Win enough games to be that bottom half kind of 12th to 13th spot. They'll beat a few teams. They'll beat the teams that they should be, like the Warriors and the Dragons, but they'll get beat up by everyone else. And then occasionally they'll have a game where they'll show a bit of fortitude and might get a sneak upset. Everyone will be like, yeah, the Bulldogs show so much heart. And then the next week they'll get flogged.
Look, This is what happens when you're paying Kieran Foran $1 million a year. Like, I don't want to tear Kieran Foran through the mud because obviously he's
He's had the worst luck.
Yeah. He's when he was at his peak at Manly, 100% you could predict that he was going to get paid $1 million a year.
Oh, he was a top 3 player in the league.
What he has been, the $1 million a year contract made no sense, and it's really haunting the Dogs.
It is.
It is. You're right.
So agree, Jake?
I agree.
Agree, Brad?
I agree. Paying Ponga to prove costly for Knights. So there is talk. They're already paying him a high salary.
He's on $1 million a year, hey?
I think he's on 900, not quite $1 million.
900.
But there's talk of paying him 1.2.
For what? What's he done?
He's not even a top 5 fullback. He has a lot of potential, but I don't believe he's ever going to reach it because his potential isn't the fullback style that needs to be.
Yeah, what is currently in place is heavy usage fullbacks. And he's not
Meter
that.
eaters. He has the same footwork as RTS, if not better.
Yeah.
But RTS averages 220 metres a game.
How much bigger is RTS,
Exactly.
Tedesco?
Ponga can't
Even
just
Chance
take
is
it.
bigger.
He can't just catch a bomb or drop punt and just take it 35 metres like they do or 30 metres. He can't. He's too small.
Yeah.
Were Knights not your dark horse team last week?
On the back of Mitch Pearce.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So when do you see him finishing? Yeah.
About 8th.
Sneaking in.
But this is a team, when you look at everything else, should be in the top 4. You look at their forward pack, you look at Mitch Pearce, you look at the money they've spent.
On paper, yeah,
suppose,
they're a top 6 at least.
But paying Ponga is costing them a quality hooker. Brayley might solve it, but I haven't seen enough from him.
Yeah.
And a quality 6. They don't even know who's going to play 6.
Yeah, it's probably the most up in the air position in
And
the
that's
NRL.
because they're spending
that's...
they're spending that money on Ponga. Where you look at the great teams, they have that really headstrong half, which Mitch Pearce is, but then they have that perfect 6 combo on their back. Luke Keary.
Yeah.
Like Cronk and Maloney. Like all these guys that just have their
And
Ponga
Ponga doesn't outweigh
have
the
their
lack
sevens
of
back.
that 6 position. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good
we
one.
saw him try at 6 and he can't have the ball in his hands that much. He can't.
Yeah, panic.
Yeah, this is fair.
So, like, they're going to have a fringe first grader playing 6
I like it.
because they've spent too much on the 1.
I like it. I don't know if they sneak into that 8th. I definitely see them. I'll put them 8 to 10.
Yeah,
I definitely
that fight.
Yeah, in the dog fight, they'll be good. They'll be okay, but they're not elite. Panthers live and die by the Clearys.
I completely agree, and I think it's going to work.
See, this is where we differ. I know you're all about the Nathan Cleary hype train,
Yep.
and I'd like to kill it off with the Ivan Cleary death train. Ivan Cleary is showing that he's not a good coach. Nathan Cleary is showing that he is a very good player.
Yep.
Who wins? I don't know. Like, the Panthers are my hardest team because last year we saw in glimpses that they could be great. We also saw in glimpses that they could be terrible. If Nathan doesn't play well and it has to go back to the coaching staff, the team loses. If Nathan's flowing, things are okay. I'd still see them, though, being that 6 to 8. Just sneaking in.
Yeah. Look, I can agree with you position-wise. I just think Cleary is going to be a dominant force, and that trial against Parramatta on the weekend really cemented my thoughts about that. I get that it's a trial, but
Those two, Cleary and Moses,
are going to have a big
they're the New
fight.
South Wales halves.
Yeah, big time.
They should be.
They have to be.
And they're going to have a big
won't be.
fight for that Dally
They
M
have
half
to
of the
be.
year.
What do you reckon, Brad? Yes? No? Don't like it?
I like the take, and I think this is going to, whether they live or they die by it, is going to be, like, the difference is going to be 2 injuries. If we see Kikau go down, they're dying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or Cleary.
Kikau is a huge
Like,
force. Yeah.
Just 2, there's like 1 or 2 guys in that team, even Coruscant now,
Yeah.
If we get an injury from one of those three guys, this team's gone
Yeah, that's fair.
because they don't have the depth there.
That's true.
Hit me up to finish it.
Last one.
No Grant, no finals.
West Tigers.
Agreed.
If they got Harry Grant, I would have said, watch out. Tigers fans are in for a good year.
Did you
No
see
hooker, no nothing. They're
you
going to
see
have a
his-
terrible season.
Harry Grant's asked for a release from the Storm.
He
So-
has, but if I'm the Storm, not a chance
No,
in the
yeah,
world.
no way. But like, pretty much begging, saying, "I need to play footy, and I'm not gonna get to play here."
Storm are ruthless.
Yeah, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Look, I agree with it. So where do you see him finishing? Sorry,
Bottom four. I think with
Bottom four.
their off-season has possibly been the worst. As in losing
Yeah.
Ryan Madison,
yeah,
signing BJ Leilua, who's so hot and cold,
Killed it in
going
the trial.
hard after Latrell,
Yeah.
and it's like you have needs outside of flashy players. What are you doing?
yeah. You clearly just
sort out
trying
your-
to chase a marquee signing.
That main need is a number 9.
Sort out your issues before you go for flashy players.
Yeah.
You do not need to be like selling merchandise,
Exactly.
which is basically what they seem to be buying for, was
Yeah.
to sell merch.
Look, I think that'll do us for this week. Jump on our socials. We'll be chucking all these headlines up and going to war with all the commenters because I tell you what, I think there's some.
I can't wait for those Tigers fans.
The Tiger fans are going to come after you. I think the Dragons boys are going to come after me too. I might get raped in a pub too. Jump on our socials. Let us know your thoughts. Facebook, Instagram. Like our podcast. We'll see you online. See ya.
Bye.
Adios.
Sick.